because I'm using the mic on my, okay.
I mean, I hope so, because we're live.
Yeah, we are. Hi.
Hey, everybody. It's November 21st, and it's another episode of the Health Tech Talk Show. We're all fresh in from various travels. So I think Lisa just sat down. Melissa just sat down. Nora probably sat down earlier today in her actual house. So yeah, here we are. We were a lot of places. And today we have a lot of opinions and a lot of things to say. And we have our special guest has a lot to say all the time, and she's going to sit in the talk show today. So we have the incredible and infamous Nora Cox, CEO of the Texas eHealth Alliance. She's going to tell us some things. I actually don't even know if we would have to put Nora on the backstage, but I feel like we have to do it just because we do it to everybody. Because I feel like this is like her vibe to almost get in trouble all the time.
It is, but we should save her from herself.
Yeah.
Well, I do take for myself upon occasion. That's not completely unfair.
All right. Well, Nora, we're going to send you backstage for about a half hour. There's going to be a lot of things I feel like you're going to comment on. So just like pay attention.
I'm going to take notes. Okay. I'll see y'all in a little bit.
Okay. Holy shit. Whose cat is that? Your cat, Melissa? I love
That's
that.
Melissa's cat.
I have lots of them. They're like all over. They're like, you've been gone. I walked in. It was like chaos. They knocked over my dining room chairs. It's quick.
Sure.
Oh, it must be big cats.
They're not. They're little. They're kittens. They're only like 6 months old, but they're very, very rambunctious. And they apparently missed me.
I guess so. When you got sucked up from eHealth Exchange and Medicaid stuff.
Yeah.
Okay. I feel like we got to lift up the energy here, you guys. Lisa, I need you to just like get out of airplane mode.
I woke up at 4 a.m. Eastern time today. Okay. 4 a.m. Eastern
I'm glad that
time.
you woke up on the world's best time zone and now you're on the worst time zone. I don't know what to tell you.
4 a.m. Eastern time. I've been traveling for hours.
She went to dueling pianos last night too. So
We went to dueling pianos last night.
Up.
Listen,
did you leave when WAP was playing? I know that
I left before WAP was playing, which was admittedly funny. Listen, I've been doing a lot of corporate event things. It feels like for the last couple of weeks. I live in a hotel. I live in an airplane. I live in a conference event zone.
Yeah, you
do too. I mean, you guys were both there, like pretty much for all of it.
You guys had like a whole week before you even met up with me. So
no, Lisa,
I was crumbling to the ground after yesterday.
You won.
I'll do it.
I won. Yeah, I did win.
Melissa maybe was traveling as long as I did total, but we started at different times. So just America, so you know how often Lisa is not in her house. She left her house early last Tuesday. I left late Tuesday night.
I think I left on Monday. Tuesday? Okay. I don't know. I don't know anymore.
It's unclear. You left around 24 hours before me to go to DC because I live on the world's best coast. So it was easy for me to get there. Then we went to the MAHA Summit. You went to Boston with us on Thursday. We did a cool gala there, and then you had some business. And then on Monday from Boston, we all flew to Nashville for the eHealth Exchange Conference. We stayed until Tuesday. I went home. Melissa joined us. Melissa escorted Lisa, or Lisa escorted Melissa. It's unclear how that actually.
I think I escorted Melissa.
It sounds like you did. Back to DC, back to the world's worst airport, which is Dulles.
Boy.
And then you guys went to what I call NAMD, but I hear it called all kinds of different things, National Association of Medicaid Directors. And you just got home probably 10 minutes ago.
Yeah, that is correct. That is correct. And I just want to announce, it's very important to me and not important to anyone else, that as of today, I am once again United 1K for the next year. Congratulations to me.
Where are you?
Paul Wilder.
Oh, I already said it to Paul. I was like, Paul.
I'd say it matters to me.
It matters to you.
Now I am in like this competition thing where I have to. I'm getting
not. Bam.
I don't know. I've been a Delta Diamond for a while, so I don't know. But I will say Paul's most frequent texts to me are about Lisa's 1K status.
Yeah,
Pretty much the only thing Paul texts me about is where are the parties at? And is Lisa on another leg of her journey to get 1K status?
To be clear, I did text Paul Wilder first. So, just so you all know.
Paul Wilder is everyone's first call.
It's great news.
Well, Melissa, anything exciting you want to share before we send you to the back to make sure we don't screw anything up?
Nope, you guys can push me on back.
Okay, you're getting pushed back. All right. So Lisa, oh my gosh, so many things happened.
Oh,
We are going to go in order of the things that we've done the past couple. We should
wow.
have done like a special live from Boston MAHA Summit review. Because
Totally.
now I feel
Yeah.
like it happened so
Yeah.
long ago, no one cares. But
Yeah.
we're going to go through an order. So first, we go to the MAHA Summit. What were your thoughts and feelings about the MAHA Summit?
Okay, I'll just say I didn't get arrested for
Yep.
saying anything bad or having any outbursts. It was certainly unique and interesting. It was a unique and interesting experience. I do
Yeah.
have some memorabilia. Actually, let me get my memorabilia. Hang on.
So
Yeah.
America, I got tired and I had to go to the bar. And so I missed the
Yeah,
swag
yeah.
bags. But Lisa
No,
didn't.
listen, I got this on purpose because I was like, this is a moment in time. Everyone, this is the MAHA Summit bag, which I took with me. Keep in mind, I was traveling for 2 weeks with only carry-on, and I found it in my heart to fit this in my bag. Okay. And I got my attendee badge. Don't keep attendee badges very often, but this one was special. Pretty crazy. One of the things that's funny on the back is it says that it's an open press event. And some of you might recall, if you are very petty and weird like me, that Politico was reporting that it was closed to the press.
Yeah.
And that's why they weren't allowed to attend. But that's not true.
Well, a bunch
The
of
end.
reporters reached out to us and like asked us to like tell them what
That's
was
right.
going on because they
That's
weren't
right.
invited. And I was like,
That's right.
like there actually seems like there were a shit ton of influencers there, like Instagram influencers. So
Like
I feel
us,
like that
like
counts as
us.
media. Also, we are
YouTube
incredible
influencers,
socials.
LinkedIn
We're
influencers.
Like so influential. Yeah. We may have been invited because of our actual real jobs, but I don't know. It was all very confusing, but
yeah, it was hard to find a through line. This won't be surprising to people who have been, potentially critical of the MAHA sort of movement, if you will. It was hard to find a clear through line. Just like everything, there were things I agree with and things I didn't agree with. That's what I'll say.
Yeah. It was like, I'm into fringe stuff, as everybody knows. Like I'm into let's take fringe. A lot of supplements. I'm into cold plunging, infrared saunas. I am your fringe girl. Like I'm here for this. Even with me being like, WTF is going on. It was a little bit confusing. Like the first session, which was the first one, there was like a 45-hour line to get into this thing, by the way. So a lot of people missed like the first, second, and third sessions. I came in right as probably the middle of Dr. Oz and Chris Klomp's conversation, which was quite good, talking about drug pricing. They talked about GLP-1s, increasing access to that as if it's a good thing for America. And then like the next sessions were about how GLP-1s will, turn you into a blob, like I've been advocating for people. But then the very next session was about, maybe not the next one, it's hard to pay attention. The next one was a bunch of compounding pharmacies talking about increasing access to GLP-1s. It was all like, and then it was like psychedelics. Then it was, we need healthy food. And people in Mississippi are stupid because they can't eat the food off of their own farms. Listen, y'all. I'm not sure if anyone knows this, but if you're an actual farmer for money and that's your business, you kind of also don't have time to farm your own like fucking fruits and vegetables. Speaking from experience here, like it was the most like off-putting douchey thing I've heard someone say in a while. And that's coming from me. And I am off-putting and douchey. So I don't know. But like, I mean, there were some things I was super into there, but it was also like, it just seemed like the common thread was if you're fringe, you're in.
You're in. Question everything, as some people said.
Yeah, but I did enjoy the conversation between RFK and JD Vance. I did enjoy I thought the Oz Chris thing was really good. It's just hard to know exactly what MAHA is. So
yeah. I'm not really sure. But yeah, I thought the GLP-1s thing was like the real telling piece where it's like, we're not sure what this means. Because on the one hand, it was like you said, the other hand, it was like, hey, we love compound pharmacies. I'm like, well, you can't really do both.
We love it all? Do we love it all? I don't know. But I think it was like, if you've at all been like ostracized or like put on the edge during the past, 100 years of medicine, you were in at the MAHA Summit. So
we want to have fun. This is a good one from John. Try your own supply. That's right.
LOL. LOL. Anyway, okay.
Oh,
All right. Moving
cheers
on.
to my
Okay.
cappuccino,
Anyway,
everyone.
I had a really good time with the MAHA Summit though. Like it was a really fun crowd of people. So yeah, I mean, we'll see. Like it's a new thing too. So we'll see what happens.
Totally.
Oh, then we went to this super fun gala, the Boston Community Pediatrics Gala up in Boston. Leslie and I are sponsors. I guess Inseta is a sponsor. And it was fun. And we just hung out and we got to hear all kinds of stories. Lisa cried the entire freaking time.
I cried the whole
Oh my
time.
God.
I like this was truly like the spiritual opposite of whatever was happening at the MAHA Summit. It was just like no one said AI at all,
No,
which was
no one said
amazing.
AI.
This was the best day of my life because no one said AI the entire day. It was incredible. It was all about helping kids, doing the right thing, loving Medicaid, but also knowing we need to do more for kids, like integrated care, like fully like being there for them, like lifting up
Yeah.
your community. It was so cool.
It was really cool. I mean, this is like an on the ground, nonprofit, privately,
Oh my God.
philanthropically funded
So
clinic,
cool.
right? Dr. Robin Reisberg came up with this idea. She had worked, I think, in community health centers most of her career and was like, fuck this. Like, I'm going to do it a different way. Yeah. And she goes out and raises like $4 million a year to do it on her own. Like, she's not
Cool
like
beans.
begging the government for grants, right? And then she's got all these people who, you know, like, I think one of the things that struck me when I first went to visit her was, you know, she's just talking about like, we just do whatever we need to do to get these moms what they need, right? These moms and families. She's like, one of our moms is like, I got a parking ticket while I was waiting for my appointment. You know what we do? And I was like waiting for something like massive. And like, she's calling the city. They just go out and pay the fucking parking ticket. Or if the mom gets towed, they just go, like they go get the car out, right? It's like stuff like that, which obviously costs money. And she's raising enough that she's able to do it. But it's just like stuff like that, like human stuff on the ground, which is very different than what we heard at the MAHA Summit, which was like,
but just thinking about the
big ideas.
Yeah, this is like the full picture of literally what it takes to like help kids like get and stay healthy, help families stay healthy in a community. And it's like, it's it's super cool. And by the way, the gala was massive. I think
it
we're
was
going
huge.
like a little, there were like a little like dinky little,
I don't know how many
sweet
people
little
were there.
service nonprofit. There were there was certainly more than 500 people there.
Yeah,
Way
it was
more.
super, and
Huge.
people were like throwing down
Big
huge
deal.
amounts of money. You know, we were like middle tier sponsors. They gave us a big table, which was cool. But like, man, people were just throwing, like someone threw down $1 million. WTF. Like, people really are rallying around this organization, which is
and you know why?
cool.
Because they are getting results.
Yep.
And they are absolutely centering like the people in the community who are part of that. Like a whole huge part of the event was like the frontline staff, like the MAs, the LPNs, the nurses, the doctors who are like the social workers. A lot of social work happening here, like as part of this integrated model. You know, like mental health clinicians, like putting them right at front and center and like hearing from them, people from the community. One of the frontline clinicians, she literally interviewed for a job and she was like, Dr. Reisberg was my pediatrician when I was a kid. Like that's literally the through line of this. And that's what it looks like. It's not like scalable times a million, but like in this community, and I'm sure she's going to grow in Boston and greater Boston, but like, that's what it looks like. You can't be like some rando from, you know, it can't be some random thing, generic thing across every single city. This is like a specific thing to this community that's working really well. It was cool.
Yeah, you can't be a chatbot and work around all kinds of different barriers to getting someone's housing changed, right? Like they shared this story about two kids, both of whom have asthma, both of whom were allergic to like, honestly, like mouse infestations in their housing, right? In their public housing, could not afford to move. And the feats that Robin's team went through to move one of these children who were their patients. And the massive improvement, hasn't been in the emergency department in over a year, like was going multiple times. It sounds like multiple times a month for awful issues that just like were inherent to her environment. So it was like
how are we gonna save money like in healthcare, right? And it's like actually it's gonna be like keeping people. We know obviously it's keeping people out of the hospital, out of the emergency room, but that looks like not some generic thing. It's like, it looks like, let me sit down and figure out how to get this person into housing that does not make them allergic and have them have like 50 asthma attacks a month.
Like,
that's
let me
it.
like
It's
call
human
some
stuff.
people and
Call
go
people.
Like, you know, like I know people. Like it was like that, which is super cool.
GSD.
So happy to be a part of that. Then we cruised over to Nash Vegas. We went to the
Oh,
eHealth
man.
Exchange annual meeting. First of all, these guys had enough balls to invite the talk show to do a live show, which was super fun. But then Lisa and I both spoke. So, oh wait, here's us laughing with Jay. He's like, oh shit,
He
what
was
did I do?
he was the co-host of the
He
talk
was
show.
he was the co-host, and he was actually. I thought he did great.
He
He
did
like
so good.
maybe he took a beta blocker before coming on the show. I don't know, but he was totally cool. He
did a great
handled it.
job.
We interviewed 4 awesome guests. So I think Melissa's going to be. We have the main episode, of course, up on the YouTube and LinkedIn, but she's going to be releasing clips kind of throughout the next couple of days. So check it out. It was super fun. Lisa was on this, I thought, the most hilarious panel of the day, honestly, because you guys were originally the backup panel if the feds couldn't join. Is that right?
That's correct. Well, so the first panel that was planned, the shutdown was impending, included, me. I was going to be moderating and like all the feds. And then the shutdown happened, and then the team at eHealth Exchange was like, let me just work this thing out real quick. And so we had a panel that was supposed to be talking about the CMS health technology ecosystem. And then the feds turned out the feds could come. There was a really great keynote by Kim Brandt, who is the CMS COO and fraud, waste, and abuse czar. And then Amy Gleason also spoke. There were some others. My brain is melting now as well, but they were both there representing CMS. Was great.
Yeah. I want to say, like, I love how much Kim Brandt loves finding fraud, waste, and abuse. Like, she's freaking committed. Like, she is like, I'm coming for it. It's like, I mean, I actually, like, I knew there was fraud, obviously waste and abuse. Sure. I think until this administration, I did not know how much.
Yeah. I mean, I think it's just more that they're doing a really good job putting it front and center and also publishing the numbers. Like the program integrity office at CMS has been doing this work for a long. In fact, Kim was part of it in previous administrations in previous years, but they're like, we're putting it out there to show like what I think this is something you and I talk about a lot, right? You do have to be able to like talk about what you're doing, communicate, do PR, even for like dorky government agencies, right? You have to tell people what you're doing so they understand what government does.
Yeah, agree. Totally agree. I thought she was great, and also like she was saying a lot of this is possible because they have new technologies that can go through that stuff.
Yeah.
And before it was a very manual process, so that was cool. And then Amy Gleason always does a great job. I think she always like kind of hits it home with like why she's doing this from a personal perspective. I told her though, I was like, you are too humble. Like some of the shit she talks about that she's done and is doing, I'm like, can you just like make that sound as dramatic as it really is? Because I feel like people who don't know you or know what you're doing, like do not understand the magnitude.
Yeah. Erica Olensky kicked off the conference. She does a really amazing patient advocate and talking about, the impact of really non-existent like data sharing and data validation in healthcare, and just how, it has to be shared, but it also has to make sense. And we're not really there right now. We're like not there, basically.
Yeah. So this isn't the best picture of Lisa because I just pulled it off my phone. But there's one of you, like, I think that Brendan's company posted where you're just like keeling out in laughter, like your head's back. God. And it's like so great. Brendan. This was a really funny panel. Brendan moderated it. And everybody was just kind of like off the rails, which was so fun. And then I gave a presentation on how to change someone's mind. And I mostly made fun of Q hints, which was great, which I enjoyed.
It was really funny. It was great.
Yeah,
it was really good.
What are you going to do?
It was good stuff.
So we are both available for speaking engagements. Our speaker fees are, it's unclear, but like call us. And then also, neither of us attended the Sequoia the care quality meetings that come after that. Like these events are usually all at the same time. I had to go home and Lisa had to go to DC again. But I just want to say, Sam Roods made me feel like I was in the room. Like his first post is, "This is my Coachella." What the fuck? Like
Sam.
It was objectively great. I don't actually think I saw him though. I mean, I was only there for a day. But,
I saw him briefly.
Oh my gosh. Like his posts for the rest of the week, I thought were like, I mean, I just felt like I didn't need to go because he had it all covered. So A+, Sam, we appreciate you.
Nice.
And then I went home, and then Lisa and Melissa continued on to the NAMD meeting in DC. So tell us what happened there.
Yeah, I mean, NAMD is like it's the Association for Medicaid Directors. And so the first day and a half are like just for people who work for the states. And so it's a little bit of a weird sort of hybrid of like half a like conference about Medicaid technology and Medicaid transformation and half like internal meetings that, don't get out. But they had all the big guys. They had Dr. Oz again doing his little keynote here, and then there was a panel that included Dan Brillman, who is now in charge of Medicaid, formerly CEO, co-founder of Unite Us. It was his third week, and he was on stage, very brave, talking about what's going on. There was just a lot of like getting down to brass tacks about how states are going to be dealing with work requirements and how they're going to deal with all the technology side. Dr. Oz kind of like was at the end of his speech, he was kind of berating the room. He was like, consultants and technology vendors, like, do not overcharge states for this. He was like very direct about that. And I had to laugh because, of course, your room was like probably half consultants and technology vendors. So, I mean, good for him for saying it. I think that's important, right? It's a weird time. And, everyone seemed a bit anxious and a bit like, how are we going to make this work?
Yeah, there's a lot going on for the states. We're going to talk about the states later with Nora, I think. Well, I don't know. I don't actually know what she's going to say. We'll see. So into real news that happened, other than our amazing travels, which were extensive and vast.
Right.
We got some super sad news yesterday that it sounds like HIMSS had to do a huge layoff.
Yeah. We've been told that the conference is happening. As you might recall, a couple of years ago, HIMSS actually sold off the conference to Informa, a like global conference company. So the conference, as far as we understand it, is happening, but there's been like major shakeup and cutbacks at HIMSS, the organization. So if you're part of like, any of the local chapters, you may have heard about this in the last couple of days or last 24 hours, really. We don't really know we don't know the full impact here, but can be hard to, I mean, selling off the conference was a choice, right? Like, I don't know, like I don't know anything about like the background behind that, but that's a big move for an organization like HIMSS with such a massive, like global conference. So hard to know what's going on there.
Yeah, it's a bummer. So hopefully this is, I don't know. I don't know what this is about, but I actually like HIMSS. I hope they stick around. I got mad at them like here and there throughout the years, but I get mad at everyone. So I don't know. I hope it means that the conference sticks around, and I don't know.
The Healthcare Information Management System Society, you mean?
So sexy. Oh my God. I do know that. Yeah.
Time for a rebrand, guys. This is the time. It's the time to rebrand it up. Let's do it. Let's rebrand.
It's like probably the time, if there's going to be a time at all. I agree. But yeah, I heard that a lot of their sponsors pulled out, but I don't know why, because like HIMSS is like not terribly controversial these days. So I don't know.
Yeah, but also like there was the question of like, is like Health and Revive and the whole Chime thing, like, is that going to break them? A lot of people said after this year's health conference, like, not really sure I'm feeling the value. Like, It doesn't seem like Health, HLTH, the conference has like, and the organization as well, like has really like beaten them in a particular area, right? So I just, especially in like healthcare IT, like healthcare technology, I'm not sure that there's like a clear winner. I don't think, what I'm trying to say is we thought they were going to lose. It doesn't seem like they lost, so it's confusing.
Right. Well, yeah, that's the thing. Like Health kind of, I thought was a downer this year. And so I was like, oh, okay. Yeah. Like now they're owned by another big company. So that's cool.
Also sold the conference.
And then people really enjoyed HIMSS last year. So I was like, oh, like they're back. And then they're like, we just like slashed and burned. So who the hell knows what's going on here?
Who knows?
Not me, but maybe one of our loyal fans will tell us later, TBD.
That's right.
Okay. Like in the world of the government and America. So it looks like, I don't know if I added this to the show, Lisa, but there are many new proposals for fixing Obamacare. And instead of giving subsidies for marketplace insurance, now we're going to do things like HSAs. What was the thing I sent last night from Politico? The Trump Freedom Care, Trump Freedom something.
Freedom.
Oh my God.
That's from what's his face, Rick Scott.
Holy shit.
guy who
Amazing.
has done some Medicare fraud himself has some suggestions for how we can fix U.S. healthcare.
Hold on,
Sorry,
because I
that's
sent it.
like public record. He was like,
I
he
sent it
was
to
trying
y'all.
to.
Yeah. Oh, okay. They're going to be called Trump Freedom Accounts. I
Great.
mean,
Love it.
and Lisa, like I was saying to y'all last night, like now is the time for the federal government to adopt the Freedom Health Data Network. Like right now is the time, y'all. If we can have Freedom Trump accounts or Trump Freedom accounts, Jesus Christ, like I am here. This is my time. This is my time for branding. Oh my God.
Listen, friends, as you might recall, the Freedom Health Data Network is a trademark that we are willing to provide for free to the government, and we encourage them to. That's correct. That is very correct. We encourage you to call us if you are from the government and you would like to use the Freedom Health Data Network website trademark that we don't have anything else. Like
Logo, anything.
we got it. We are going to give it to you. All we want to do is say that we had a piece in sort of making this a thing. Freedom Health Data Network. You call us, Rick Scott. You know what? I'll forgive the Medicare fraud. Call me. Let's do it.
Yep. We're in it for America. So just give us a shout. No problem. All right.
Well.
Some exciting-ish news, I think. There's been a few of these kinds of announcements. Unitas and Fortuna are now doing a bunch of like Medicaid stuff. I assumed it was like work requirement related, but it actually seems less so. But it could just be that this press release was written in a way that my small brain could not understand.
Yeah, I mean, I think what Fortuna Health is doing is really trying to strengthen the like eligibility and enrollment workflows. And a lot of the reasons why people get kicked off of coverage, as you know, is because like their forms aren't filled out correctly or there's some kind of problem like that. So I assume this is going to be in that area. I assume they're also moving towards something around work requirements, but they can tell us themselves. This is a similar vibe to Find Help buying a company called Uno Health recently, which is in the benefits determination space. So like these two companies, man, they're on a constant sort of horse race, like doing what they're doing. So we'll see.
Yeah, they always seem to be throwing a little bit of shit at each other. I mean, it's like
we said congrats to Taylor Justice for becoming the CEO of United. Did we last week or whatever?
I think on our last show, because that was
Congrats.
official even if Dan wasn't.
Yep.
So
Yep.
So congrats for being CEO. That's super cool. I actually never really engaged with Dan before he moved into the government. It was always Taylor. So I don't know. What, who knows? Founders, co-founders, they've got a lot going on. So this is kind of, I think, a big deal. This news about, so everybody knows there was going to be in the big, beautiful bill, there was going to be a section that said states were not allowed to make their own AI laws. That was taken out. And now it looks like now we're going to get an executive order.
Executive orders are not amazing, right? They don't last forever. And it's just a little more uncertainty. We'll see. We'll see.
I mean, I get this. Like, I get like why, as a tech company, you'd be like, I don't want state AI laws. Because as someone who navigates various state DERSAs and privacy laws, it is a bunch of bullshit. However, I'm pro states, and states should be able to do what they want. So like, this does stress me out a little bit because I think states and states' rights are more important than AI.
I think states' rights are important. I also think that it's getting really complicated to have a ton of different AI laws. Now, my like solution would be like, let's have an AI law, and that's not what anybody else wants either. So like, I don't like this solution, but I think you and I would have different solutions.
We would have different solutions for sure.
Right.
Anyway, so okay, and then everybody remembers. So here's like the next piece of news here. This is I just fucking forgot his name. He was the CEO of
Troy Bannister, baby. Particle Health
posted this. So what's so crazy about this is like we just saw Chai get like absolutely rocked and like potentially abolished by the Trump administration for trying to vet AI tools and be quasi-regulatory. And then this announcement came out that Cedars-Sinai, who I thought was in Chai, they now are, I guess this was a safe investment of up to $5 million. And I think half of that was Cedars-Sinai to launch this governance platform for AI to vet AI tools for hospitals.
Yeah.
I just feel like the timing is bad.
This is a rough one. Timing is bad. Also, raises more questions about Chai and like what they're doing compared to these efforts. Once again, a person who potentially did a bad thing with a previous company has raised a lot more money. Mazel, once again, I will say to everyone who is doing bad things with their old company and then raising a lot more new money. Again, like, seems like it's going well. What do I know? This is why I'm not a VC. This is why I'm not a multimillionaire or a billionaire.
You might be bad at business, Lisa. Like,
It must be that I don't understand business. That clearly is that clearly is what's going on here. I also think that there's been been chatting about this with some friends who may be watching the show right now about like the success of like, these like things that are kind of like incubated in a particular health system and then they try to sort of expand it to other health systems. This has been like kind of hard historically, so like we'll see how this goes. I don't get the AI governance platforms quite yet. I'm not quite there.
Yeah. So we'll see what happens. In other kind of wild news, despite assurances that this would not happen to Senator Cassidy, the CDC now says that there's no proof that vaccines don't cause autism. So I'll say this. I think this is bad for America. But as someone who didn't trust the government in any administration, like I kind of just continue to not trust it. So
I do not have autism because of vaccines. It's because of my poor genetics. Don't cancel me. Don't cancel me. Everyone, please don't cancel me. Love you.
At least I feel like we get canceled like every other day. So
all
like,
lives matter.
What's another Friday on the Health Tech Talk Show? Like what? I don't know.
That was a joke at my expense. I did not mean anything negative to anyone. That was just me making fun of myself on 1 hour of sleep. Thank you. Don't cancel me.
I mean, anyway, I'm not going to continue to joke about this because I feel like we will get canceled. But anyway, there's like a lot of unhappiness about this, and like I don't know. The thing that bums me out about this is I did hear Secretary Kennedy say that like he was going to do this massive effort to find the cause of autism, and then it was revised to say we're going to like, but I think by September 30th we're going to start the process of finding whatever. I don't think
September 30th. I forgot about September 30th. I totally forgot about that date.
Well, September 30th, he was just going to start working on it. Like they were going to have a plan, I think was how it was revised. But like, I don't think any of that has happened. So that kind of bums me out because like I'm all here for taking another look at anything, but like, I don't think that happened. And then they just changed the words. I think there are 5 people working at the CDC and most of them are political. Yeah. So I don't know who's doing this on the internet.
It's like the mice who are left over, like in the labs, just like tapping things out. I just feel like, this is my non-joke response to this is to say that the idea that there is a singular cause to a complex, multifactorial condition that, whatever you want to call it, there's so many things you can say. There's so much on a spectrum of what autism spectrum disorder looks like in different people because it is so complex. I'll just go on record and say there is not a single cause to autism, air quotes, and it's very simplistic and weird to be trying to do this. Like, that's not what it is. Let's increase knowledge. It's not Tylenol. Let's increase knowledge. Let's increase our learning. Let's make people's lives better. Like, we're not going to find a singular cause to something. That's just not how it works.
I don't know. I think we should just get a few more doctors, like, some open-minded doctors, right? Who are interested in seeing other sides to the story. But like, I
think it's 5G. I also think it's my phone. My phone is definitely
doesn't most of Marin County think it's 5G too?
Most of Marin County thinks it's 5G. That's why we have no cell service. So come here to beautiful Marin County and you can also be free of 5G.
No one has ever told me that that I'm autistic, but I do have. I'm in the South, y'all. We've got like ultra wideband 5G everywhere, and like also, do you know how many chemtrails I have in the sky? Like, holy! I live next to the world's busiest airport. Hello, like I don't have autism from the chemtrails. I did maybe get COVID approximately 11 times from the chemtrails. It's unclear where exactly that came from. It could have been because we didn't mask down here. It's unclear. But yeah, I've got 5G and I don't have autism. So I don't know. I mean, you know, it's all like subjective.
Not gonna be one thing. Not gonna be one
Yeah,
thing.
I
Not
don't,
gonna
I
ever
don't
be
know. I
one
don't know,
thing.
y'all. I don't know.
And this is not particularly science driven.
Maybe
Let's
I
have
have it and
some
I'm just not
science.
self-aware. Like there are all
Love
kinds
science.
of, there's all kinds. Yeah. Okay. We're not going to, let's move on.
Big fan of
Okay.
science.
So speaking of more science, Callie Means is joining HHS as a senior advisor to Kennedy. See what happens here. I don't know. Yep.
Casey Means, which she was not confirmed as Surgeon General because she had a baby, right? That
She had
was
a
the
baby.
last, like,
Yeah.
she was gonna, and then she had a baby, and they were like, let's reschedule this.
Yeah. So I don't know if like she gets maternity leave before coming back. I'm not sure how that works, but
Yeah.
she's not yet the Surgeon General. Okay. I already
You posted
included this one.
times.
Let's
All
just move on.
you're
more
like,
CDC
what?
news. It sounds like this
Okay.
new 16 initiatives has been published from the CDC. What I think is interesting, so I'll just say it as a business person, I would just like to say, especially with an organization as large as the CDC, you do not have 16 priorities. You get 3. So like straight off the bat, someone saying, here are 16 priorities to or turn around the CDC, you've already failed. Like, I don't know what to tell you. Like, I guess you didn't do McChrystal's planning sessions. Like, maybe they don't like him anymore. I don't know. Like, did you talk to John Doerr about OKRs? Apparently not. Did you make up your own system? It sounds like it. It's not going to work. Also, the first one that I think I saw was about like getting states to sign one DRSA. Good fucking luck. Like, I hope that works for you because I do think that is a solution. It's just not going to work.
Yeah, it's not going to happen. And this is
Anyway.
16 is too many. I agree.
Yeah,
especially with
also,
5 employees
people.
remaining.
There's 5 people working at the CDC. What are you guys going to do? Like, oh my God. So whatever. Anyway, I'm here for the CDC to get turned around. I'm here for public health. I'm just confused. Like, isn't Jim O'Neill also a business person? It's also likely that Jim O'Neill is like, he's got a lot going on because he's like running everything from what I understand. So maybe I don't know. I don't know what's going on.
The CDC is one person is what you're trying to say.
Yeah, maybe. It's unclear. But anyway,
all right.
I hope that they are successful in these 16 different priorities, but I think that is just not how the things work.
Yeah, true.
Anyway, moving on. Nurses are no longer
confusing. This was also so apparently I totally missed this. Maybe others did not miss this. In the One Big Beautiful Bill in HR1, there was a effort to reclassify certain professions as non-professional degrees, and this just means that the government's going to save money by putting a cap to federal student loans for these types of degrees, and like a bunch of nursing professions were excluded. Or they were not included. I guess they weren't necessary. It's very unclear. They were not included. And so, of course, like all of the nursing organizations, nursing advocacy organizations, advanced practice professionals, like allied health professionals, beyond medical doctors, are like, what? And so what this means is that a lot of people will not be able to afford to get these nursing and advanced practice degrees if this moves forward as planned. And I think it caught a lot of people off guard. I don't know if there was like advocacy or lack of advocacy or awareness, or anyway, it's kind of a big deal for the healthcare workforce.
Yeah.
Not great.
I think generally not great, especially since we have a shortage of nursing people. So okay, I think this is our last slide before we go to our real life special guest. So apparently now we're going to have Blue Button 3.0, which actually sounds great from the small snippets of information you fed to me, Lisa, since I get all my news from you.
Yeah, so this was just like, I guess, published in the Federal Register, or it's in the not the Register, it's in the OMB Outlook, I think, of what's coming down the pike. And this is, we believe, an initiative from our friend Amy Gleason and her pals at CMS and at USDS to do the next version of CMS Blue Button, which has over the years allowed Medicare beneficiaries to get their own data. And this is kind of a theme for CMS and the work that Amy and the A team at CMS and USDS have been doing, which is like, can we just like give the data to the patients directly, has kind of been their vibe. Can we just make it available directly? So more to come. It's exciting to see progress around just like unlocking data at CMS.
Also, John, we need to get like a part-time doctor on our show to answer all these health questions we get. I'm not a health professional, but I just want to know, are you sterile? Did it not work? I guess you're saying it. I guess you're saying you're good. I don't know. It's unclear to me also.
Mountain Dew
because,
red.
Listen,
Mountain
I feel
Dew
like the 90s just ruined everybody, like, we got to get Nora on here, but I just need to say the 90s.
Yeah, we do.
Screwed us all. Like, what did they make us all eat? What was that? Like, what was the Snackwells? All the cookies.
Oh, the like low calorie snacks.
Yeah, it was like those, and then like there was like the fake.
Oh, those were
fat,
so bad.
But then they put all the sugar in it. I mean, they basically screwed us all. Like, we are all like millennials. We are fucked. Like, totally. I don't know what's gonna happen. I'm thankful that I was able to have 2 children. We don't know what else is gonna happen. Shops closed, but like, I don't know. Okay.
Shops closed. Great.
Shops closed. Oh my
God. All right. Okay. That's enough.
Yeah. Okay. That was a lot. Nora, where are you at? I think your camera's off. We don't know. Oh my gosh. She's like, I can't come on this show.
Gone.
It's even too bad for me.
She's out here. Listen, I'm a 90s denialist. As far as I'm concerned, none of it even happened or registered. That's how Gen X I am. I'm just a no. No on the music, no on the fashion, no on the grunge, no on the Snackwells, no on the Mountain Dew, no. Also, no on the Star Wars prequels. No.
Amazing.
Just a hard no on all these things. So how's that for an entrance?
That's good. That's A+. Nora, will you? So we appreciate your unofficial introduction for everything you hold dear or not. Will you please officially introduce yourself?
Sure. I'm delighted to be here. I'm Nora Cox. I'm the CEO and founder of the Texas eHealth Alliance. We are a 501c6 trade association, primarily trying to stand in between all of you and the existential darkness of the Texas legislature. But I also hold a couple of national roles, including being, I did that just to see if I could get Lisa to crack up. And it worked. I'm an Interoperability Matters co-chair for Sequoia Project. I chair public health, and then I'm on the advisory board for the Center for Telehealth and eHealth Law. I'm a huge nerd. It's what it says on the license plate of my car. Been at the Texas Capitol 30 years, and love this community that we are all a part of very, very, very much. Yeah. Yeah.
Truly the whisperer of the Texas legislature on everything possible, health tech, telehealth, you name it. Absolutely. And like better her than anyone else, because like, I don't know who else could stand to do that, but like very famous in Texas and abroad.
Extremely famous. I often introduce Nora, like whenever someone's having trouble in Texas, I say, do you know the real governor of Texas? And they go, no. And then I'm like, let me introduce you to Nora. And she knows how to work it. Also, Nora wins many awards, but just this week, what did you win?
So I was named Public Health Advocate of the Year by the Sequoia Project. They did not tell me this was a thing. I was just told be in the room at a certain time. And usually the co-chairs, we all stand up and we get a little recognition. And now I know what it's like to be a dark horse Oscar winner and like maybe beat Meryl Streep for an award or something, because I did not see it coming at all. It is a really difficult, and both of you know this, it's a difficult time for public health. We just completed a public health, public policy roadmap. We are trying to build a community of practice and build bridges between public health and Medicaid, which frequently don't speak to each other, even in the same state, even when they're in the same department or division of the same state. So I suppose getting them to talk to each other is award worthy, because that's a lot of what we do in that work group. So it was a good week. We were in Nashville, and lots of very interesting moments and discussions at the Sequoia Project, as you two mentioned on the top of the broadcast. So it was good. It was good. A surprise. I mean, you want to see my shocked face. It's on LinkedIn. Looking shocked, because I was completely caught off guard by the whole thing.
Well, congratulations. We love you. Pretty much everyone loves you. And if people don't love you, they're too scared of you to say anything about it, which I am freaking here for. So that's what I'm talking about.
Also, Nora has more blazers than anyone I've ever met in my life, like, and the best ones, like so many. She has multiple closets full. Like, it's incredible. Truly good.
She's seen my place. It's true. I think that goes back to my roots as a high school speech and debate kid. Like, the blazer was the thing that made you feel like you were going to go in there and like crush it. And so now that I have more money than I had in high school. I do have some acquisitions of the various things that
incredible
make me feel powerful.
So, listen, as per usual, we do not know what our special guest wants to talk to us about, but I will say the email she sent to us. So, by the way, we asked Nora to come on in like 2023, and she was like, "Oh yeah, totally. Just give me a minute." And by the way, it's 2025. She finally emails back. By the way, she could have texted any of us, chose to go formal, which was weird. And she said, "I need to be on the show. Period. I have thoughts." And that's all we've got.
Great.
So Nora, like, what do you
tell us your thoughts?
Well, I think in listening to the two of you and kind of the run up, I think the thing that I spend more time explaining to anybody else is the 10th Amendment and what it looks like to be doing state policy in this era. And I find this draft executive order around AI to be really fascinating because I worked on the AI legislation in Texas. There seems to be this, well, maybe some of the state stuff is good, but some of it's maybe bad, and some of it's maybe unconstitutional. Well, what's unconstitutional is like overriding state medical boards. That's unconstitutional because under the 10th Amendment, state medical boards are the police power of the state, and that's what the courts have held for decades and decades and decades of Supreme Court precedent. So Texas, we are so attached to the 10th Amendment when it suits us, but that's frequently, that we actually have it etched in the marble of our state office buildings in like 3-foot high letters. Powers not specifically given to the federal government or reserved to the states. So I think whether it's like telehealth.
That speaks to Kat's heart. She's like, that's her. She loves that.
Having like heart palpitations, like the good kind.
It is important. But I understand if you are a 50-state company or, you're doing telehealth advocacy or any of these things, this 50-state patchwork makes your head want to explode. Like, I have nothing but empathy for that. But as someone who's been a state policymaker, who served in the executive branch, here's the difference between, and this is a terrible analogy, but it's the best one I've got, so y'all just brace yourselves. Running state programs like Medicaid, I always say, feels like being the non-custodial parent in a really contentious divorce. You have to write a really big check, and every once in a while they let you make a decision, but you are not in charge. And so state governments are always reacting to what the federal government is doing, but we can't deficit spend. So our policymaking frameworks tend to look different than what the frameworks look like at the federal level. And that creates a lot of collusion, it creates a lot of clash, and it creates different priorities. And it makes it really tricky because I get it. If you're doing business in 50 states, you want one framework. I've got nothing but empathy for that position. The pesky Constitution, it's such a problem. Such a problem,
Super annoying.
What were they thinking? So that is, as a red state person, I am frequently asked to explain, like, I'm just going to go there after the Dobbs decision. My phone rang off the hook. Like, well, what do you mean the state regulatory? Yeah, that's what they said. Go read what they said. The states set these policies. I'm sorry, you're unhappy, but that was always coming. It was always coming. It was always there. The writing was on the wall if anybody paid attention. So that doesn't always make me popular, but I'm not in this to be popular. I want people to have a clear line of sight about how state policymakers operate. So when they are entering a market or leaving a market or making business decisions, they are as informed as possible. So sitting around and wishing it could be different, that's great. I wish the 90s had never happened, but nobody listens to me. So focus on what's actually in front of you, and you'll have a better shot at doing business. The other thing, and I know, Kat, you've heard this shtick from me like a million times, 1 in 12 Americans lives in Texas, and it's going to be 1 in 10 by 2040.
Crazy.
So you can cross your arms and be all cranky about red states, and that's fine. And some of that critique I will accept as valid. Are you in business? Do you want to do business? Do you want to go where the business is? We are the place where the business is, and again, you can't really wish that away. So it's an interesting time to be sitting at this intersection with all this federal policy making, some of which is, I listened to Amy Gleason talk, legislation takes too long. We're going to pull the levers that we can pull at CMS. That's fantastic. States also have levers. They're going to be pulling them. It's going to be very interesting to see where all of this lands.
Well, I totally agree with you, Nora. And I also think that the other interesting thing is that, okay, legislation, regulation takes too long. As you know, we also like to resolve things in the courts. And that is happening a lot right now in healthcare IT, in healthcare technology. Our friend, depending on the day, frenemy, Brendan Keeler, love you, Brendan,
I
has
think
been
he's
writing
our
about this
friend.
extensively.
All good friends get in fights. Lisa and I,
All
we
good
get in
friends
fights
get
all
in
the
fights,
time.
and we got in a few fights.
Yeah.
But he's been
Like,
writing about these, and there's a
no,
lot
I
of
get
stuff
it.
happening in the courts, and by the way, as you well know, Nora, the person who's interpreting some of these things at the state or the federal level is often like a judge, like
Correct.
locally, right?
Correct.
So you're seeing that too.
So I'll tell you a funny, quick story, but it also happens to be true. When I worked for the previous governor of Texas, I was the person that convinced my boss and our attorney general to sue the Bush administration over the implementation of the Medicare Part D clawback, because it was our position that that was an unconstitutional tax on states. And CMS was not at the time being terribly responsive to what we were concerned about. And it basically were like, well, if we don't run this program very well and it costs a lot of money, we'll just take it out of your FFP because we're moving these beneficiaries from Medicaid to Medicare. So we sued, and we got like 17 states, and we filed a petition for original jurisdiction with the Supreme Court. And when California joined the suit, all of a sudden I get these backside phone calls like, what is it going to take to make this stop? Well, I have a list. So let's figure out how we can be fair, because I didn't really want a judge ruling on the substance of the Medicare Part D clawback. Judges are really not going to be qualified to get into the intricacies of Medicaid, federal financial participation and match rates and drug program administration and all that. But there are people in Texas who blame me for our attorney general's appetite for suing over everything, because that was one of the first times that was done sort of at that scale. And I think if you look at the tension, I'm going to touch another, shiny object that's on fire. If you look at the tension between the liberal justices on the Supreme Court and the conservative justices, the supremacy of the judiciary versus the supremacy of the executive versus the role of Congress, like, we have some serious disconnects philosophically all the way up to the Supreme Court as to how that should work. And, I've written executive orders, so I have very strong opinions about how that's supposed to work based on the fact that there were rules in the place that I worked when we wrote them. But now there seem to even not be, last administration, maybe even this administration, so many rules. So I think that's why people end up turning to the courts more, because the American public has sent a mixed signal. We have almost no margin in the House of Representatives. There's no margin in the Senate. Everything comes down to these down to the wire votes. Everybody's frustrated. And the judiciary, I think, feels like the place, to Michael's point, with the referee's jersey. Those are the referees. Those are the people that can settle the disputes. And there's not even necessarily agreement about that and what that role should look like. So I think if you are struggling, as so many people are, it's easy to think that maybe the courts are the place to go for relief. But philosophically, half the judges in America don't even agree with that.
Mm-hmm.
Awesome.
Yeah.
It makes it really challenging.
I'm here for the states, as everybody knows. And Nora, I think we are philosophically aligned on this. Lisa, are you philosophically aligned on this?
Yeah.
Okay.
I mean,
yeah.
I think what I want is a coherent. I don't even care what you believe. I just want a coherent belief structure. Like, I can work with a coherent belief structure. If you tell me that states' rights are really important to you and you think that's important, well, then be consistent, my friend, right? Like, then I can work with that, right? I can answer that. And I understand, right? I agree with Nora that it's like, yeah, that darn Constitution, pretty inconvenient at times, but that's the one we have. So unless you're willing to write a new one, which can happen, other countries do that, probably not us, but we haven't done that. And so right now, that's the Constitution. So, okay, we have to do what it says. We have to work around that if we can, if we can't. But please have a coherent belief structure about it. Do you agree? Do you not agree? That's how I look at it.
Well, I think consistency is helpful if you are, whether you're trying to build a business, you're trying to interpret healthcare regulations. Right. There's a wonderful person that I work with at CTEL from a medical board in another state who keeps pointing out, like, if the federal government set the rules for medical licensure, they would change every 4 years, with every administration. And is
That's
that
a
really what you
great
want?
point. Very upsetting point.
I'd never heard anybody with the nerve, quite frankly, to say that publicly. And I was like, watching everybody's faces in the room, they were like, we hadn't really thought about,
Yeah.
So,
yeah. I'll also say about the AI. Oh, go ahead. The AI stuff.
No, go ahead.
Sorry, I'm going ahead. The AI stuff, it does make me angry. So as an example, Medicaid, like I kind of have made my career on like figuring out the states, and like, guess what? There's only 50 of them, 56 if you count the territories, which I do. And like, that's actually not that hard. But I can remember going in front of my board, which was a massive board of some of the best VCs. This is when I was at Collective Medical, and presenting what I thought obviously was a fantastic plan to go after the states and like do a good job there. And they were like, that's too many. Just focus on Medicare because there's only one. And I was like, like thankfully, Chris Klomp, to his credit, now he's like doing hard things in Medicare. He was basically like, if you keep doing your real job, which is marketing, like do whatever you want. And it worked, right? Because we spent the time. And there is a whole sector of the market that spends the time to figure out what states want and need. It's just that unfortunately, I think because they're looking for scale, efficiency, and return on investment, a lot of the tech companies out there, other innovative groups, just avoid it because it is too hard. You can do one thing that works for every Medicare beneficiary, or you can do 56 different things that work for all the Medicaid beneficiaries, right? So it's frustrating. And that's what I see the same thing with the AI. Like, it makes me so mad. Like, I do agree, like these state data laws, they freaking suck. Like, I am annoyed by them every day. I'm annoyed. Texas, I think, has the dumbest HIE system in the country. That's not true. I think New York's is dumb too, as is California's. However, like, what you guys get to do whatever
Everyone's
you want,
catching
right?
strays right now.
Yeah, I love it.
I'm saying because it's hard to do business with you. It's not that it's bad for the state. It's hard to do business for you.
Right.
And
I would say that data not moving in a state with so many people and so much complexity is bad for people in the state. I would say.
Well, okay,
but you have to understand the policymakers here think that's a feature, not a bug.
Sure.
It's not dysfunctional on accident. It's dysfunctional on purpose because they're not. You know how you call people privacy hawks, right? Like, I have a new phrase for that. I don't have privacy hawks. I have privacy velociraptors. Like, they really and truly see the concatenation of the data as a threat to individual privacy. And we have not done, thanks to breaches and other sorts of things, a particularly good job reassuring them that we are not going to be abusing out here in healthcare land that data. And there is some stuff left over from COVID, kind of, I'm going to call it a hangover.
Yeah.
From the way that some of those policies landed in the states, that is not been shaken off yet. So Lisa, you're 100% correct. I mean, a big, complicated state that's really sort of 4 states demographically doesn't do a good job sharing data, could do a whole lot better, could really benefit Medicaid, which I used to work for Texas Medicaid, and my heart is in that program, and it matters to me a great deal. But the privacy thing, like, it's a real dynamic, and it's sort of where my far left and far right are total horseshoe theory. They sort of come together in this land of the black box and the danger, whether it's pharma they're afraid of or the government or whoever. And it's really hard to persuade them that there's no abuse when we have, breaches and things like that.
Right. When abuse does actually happen, like, like a lot of us have been yelling about it on the internet. I agree with that. But again, like, what I'll say there is, like, states get to do what they want. And it is not like, I feel like this is my board talking to the Trump administration saying, let's not let the states do stuff. It's too hard to do business. Let's just make it all one. Like, that's actually, like, not cool, tech companies. And if you're a freaking patriot, like, you're going to let the states do what they want because this is fucking America. Like, it makes me, like, super mad.
Well, also, I have to say, there was a very interesting dynamic around that in Texas, in that we had a Republican legislator that was pursuing a very aggressive AI regulatory approach that looked like the EU, it looked like Colorado, and then Vice President Vance went to Munich and told the EU to shove it, and all of a sudden that bill shrank. And it shrank in some significant ways that it would not have shrunk in a Harris administration. It just wouldn't have, because you wouldn't have had that same push-pull. So the federal government can sometimes bully pulpit and then let the states do implementation. within that kind of laboratories of democracy concept. And listen, billions and billions of dollars in Medicaid spend in Texas. If you don't want a part of it because it's hard, then fine. Like,
yeah, go to Connecticut.
I know plenty of people that are doing it right now and they're doing great. And go to Connecticut, go to Vermont, go to Rhode Island. Just don't do that and then come to Texas and tell me how great your thing that you did in a tiny state was, because it won't even be me. The Medicaid people will like laugh you out of their office. Like, that's so cute. Have you met what we're so it's really tricky. It's not easy, but I think, Kat, it is undervalued because it's not easy, and because the turn is not fast, and because the sales cycles are long, and because look at the rural health money. Like, I would hate to be someone who's been charged with cold calling the rural hospital CEOs in Texas. They're not going to call you back. They don't know you. You don't have references. Like, forget about it. You've got to be in it for the long play. Right. You've got to build the relationships, because everything is local. Care is local. Connections are local. Relationships are local. It's going to be really interesting to sort of see what we look like a year from now after those funds get dispersed.
I know we're almost out of time, but Nora, I want you to give one example about why Texas is so unique, and talk about this. What's it called? Sunsetting? What's the word?
Oh yeah, I like that.
This is
so cool.
So I love this. So we have an independent state agency that about every 12 years reviews chunks of state government. Are they doing what they're supposed to do? Have they had scope creep? Could their functions be moved, reshuffled, moved around? Fabulous people, really, really smart. You can look them up, Texas Sunset Commission. They have an oversight commission that is legislators and members of the public, which I also think is really cool.
Interesting.
And so going into 2026, 2027, because we have a biennial legislature that won't be back till January 27, we're going to spend 26 reviewing Medicaid, our Health and Human Services Commission, our State Department of Health, and our State Health Information Exchange. They are all on the table for discussion with stakeholders, and anybody. Now, you don't live in Texas, your data may not make the final analysis, but Texas-based stakeholders should absolutely, and there's multiple ways to participate in Sunset. There's public ways you can come testify, you can send them your feedback, you can answer questions. It's really important. It's a great good government tool. And it is objective, and these people are really smart, and their jobs don't depend on the answers that they give, right? So the agencies do a self-evaluation, but then the Sunset staff do a deep dive, and it's going to be very, very interesting to see what they recommend for Medicaid, for health and human in general, for health, public health, and then for the state HIE. I'm really going to be interested to see what happens when their reports drop.
It's like the original Doge.
It is Doji for sure. Although for a long time the goal was sort of we have too many state agencies. Can we shrink government? Can we make it more cabinet-like, more executive branch-like? And I think now we've shrunk that down. There's not a lot more to shrink. There's a lot more to reorganize that way in health and human. We had 14 agencies. Now we have like 2.5. I think that's pretty good. But the question is, are they functioning? Yeah. And what does that look like? And where are the places where we could make improvement by moving things around or taking a different approach? It's a really fantastic process, and I really encourage anybody who's listening, if you're not familiar with it, you can reach out to me. I'm happy to load you up with all the things so that you can be a participant as well. If you do business.
Yeah, I mean, that's just an example of like, states are all different. Texas has a very specific structure, and there's lots of interesting things that the state is doing that you might want to get involved in if you are like working with in healthcare, hospitals, health systems, providers, payers, whatever else. Like, there's stuff happening, and it's different than other states. You have to know the differences.
1 in 12 Americans is a Texan.
That's
It's
right.
worth your time.
Whoop.
So Nora, we have like 100 million loyal fans, as you know, and many of them are people who with influence. What would you like to tell our loyal fans with your last minute?
Wow. Oh, okay. Yeah. So here's the thing. I have so many options. I was trying to figure out which one would be the most important. Because stakeholders brought it to me as a problem, we passed some legislation to start feeding hospitals information on people once they've passed away out of our state vital statistics database. We actually had to change state open records law. Our hospitals have been asking for 20 years for access to that data, and they've been told no. And we fixed it, and we got the legislation passed. We built a big coalition. if you're doing business and you think there's a law or an obstacle in the way, don't just quit. There are lots of us in the States, and there are people like me in other states who know how to persuade legislators to change their minds. So just because it's hard, don't give up. And if you find an actual obstacle, reach out to people like me, because sometimes it's the time to get that changed. Just don't be Eeyore, right? I mean, I love me some Eeyore, but oh, this is the way it's always been. You know, I don't have time for that. I got things to do. They involve 80s music and disco balls, and not letting the status quo just be there because I think it's not possible. It's easier
God
to
bless
do
the 80s.
I think. Right. I mean, come on over here. We're doing good public policy in my state. It just gets lost in the noise. So I think that's my closing remark. I think there are lots and lots of people doing lots of really good public policy work, and it's hard to see it through the headlines and the drama and the churn and the whatever that sort of lives on top of the news cycle that we're all dealing with.
Love it.
100%.
God bless Texas.
That's right.
Yep.
God bless.
There
great
she
Santa.
is.
That's
God bless
right.
Texas.
Thanks, Nora.
Thanks, Nora.
We adore
Well,
you.
Thank you for joining us. Thank you for showing off a new blazer. And you have
Got some
to get
background.
off the phone.
So my allotted time is up. I have just been informed by a small child that I need
Understood.
to
Understood. Well, have a great weekend. We are not here for Black Friday, but we're always with you, loyal fans. Talk to you
That's
later.
right. Talk to you later.
Appreciate you.